Hi, my name is Cindy Taylor, and for my second career profile, I chose to do research on a marriage and family therapist. I was really lucky to have the chance to talk to a marriage and family therapist here in the city where I live. I live in Las Vegas. The marriage and family therapist that I talked to, his name is Cynthia Osborne. She has her own private practice and she's been practicing for 3 years, fully licensed. A little bit about her background to help you understand how she got to this point in her life. She was a school teacher for the Clark County School District and she taught special needs children for 20 years. She had her master's degree in special education and she just loved working with special needs children. While she was doing that, she also became an instructor for Regis University. While she was doing that, Regis University brought in a marriage and family master's degree program. So she decided that she would apply for that program, get into it, and see where it would take her. So while she taught, was an instructor, and while she did the master's program, she did both. And the really wonderful thing is that she got her master's degree for free. So she felt really blessed. A little bit about her working environment is that she has her own private practice. She rents her office from an office, or I should say, it's an organization called the Kayenti Therapy Center. And there are other therapists and interns that work in this therapy center, but they're not interrelated. So it's not like they're co-workers or anything like that. She just rents the office space from them. But the building itself is dedicated to marriage and family sciences. And so everyone that's coming in is dedicated to that work and all of that. She works typically about 30 to 35 hours a week. She said any more than that, and it's crazy. She said the caseloads can be a lot, and she doesn't know of a therapist that can do 40 hours. She says that it's just a lot to handle more than 35 hours a week. She does have a dream goal that she said she would like to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She knows a lot of seasoned therapists or who've been doing it a long time who work Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And she would like to get to that point. Mainly her, right now, she works afternoon hours, like after school hours, and well into the evenings, and she also works on Saturdays. Some of the main stressors for her, the typical stressors, she said one of the biggest stressors she had was insurance. Is dealing with insurance, working with insurance, learning how to do the insurance, working with insurance panels, all of these kinds of things. She says that was just about as stressful as trying to start with new clients and all of that. She said that she finally did learn how to do that and got good at it, but she realized, why am I doing this? And she actually ended up hiring someone to do it. So that was her piece of advice, was get someone to do your books and your accounting and your insurance for you. Another stressor for her was that families that are her clients don't want to seem to leave. They don't want to leave. They're hard to wean off of therapy. She says, I think they're doing really well, and she says, and you think it's time for them to maybe move on and see if they can go handle things on their own, but they don't want to leave, and it's very hard to tell them that they need to go. And she doesn't know if it's just her nature, but that was one stressor that she had. And one more stressor was that it's the emotional impact that people have actually on you as a therapist. You really need to learn how to balance your life and be able to leave work at work and go home and go on with your life. And she says you need to find something to help nurture your life and bring back in balance. And she says, because you hear a lot of things that are hard and disturbing, and she says you really need to find that balance. Her typical benefits of retirement and insurance is something that she pays for herself, that kind of thing. Common job task, as I asked her really quickly how a basic client meeting goes. In the first meetings, if she's working with a child, She will meet with the parents first, and she will discuss needs and situations and problems that they feel that the child is having or that they are having. Um, the child is not in the room at first. And then they bring the child in and they will play games, and it's more of a get to know you kind of session. And she says, I want them to feel comfortable, and I want them to really find out that they are comfortable in my office, and have to just kind of build that bond with them. And she says, I do the same thing with a single adult or couples. I have them come in and I try to build a bond with them on that very first session. And she says, we talk about procedures and those kinds of things, and we talk about those kinds of things, but it's really important to build that bond. And she says, and I will also make a diagnosis of maybe what the problem is. And she said that's especially important because of insurances. She says you need to make those diagnoses. She does have cash paying clients, and she says you don't have to be so stringent on those diagnoses when it's a cash paying client, because you can take the time to maybe look a little bit deeper and further into a diagnosis, because you don't have to deal with the insurance companies. And so she says that's nice when you can have that little bit of leeway. The other thing is like on the second visit, she says that's when we begin really diving in and talking about how we can fix the problem. Or I ask them questions. She says that she asks them questions about how they feel about things, and I try to help them come up with ideas of how they think they can fix their problems. But so that's what a follow-up visit is like. And she goes, it's amazing how they find themselves coming up with their own answers and that kind of thing. Of course, the educational requirements for this is a master's degree in marriage and family sciences and therapy. She talked about the practicum and the internship. She did a 500-hour practicum and a 3,000-hour internship. The 500 hours of her practicum did go towards her internship. So a starting salary range was, as an intern, they can make between $40 to $85 per hour. That's with someone who's got their master's degree or working, and they're doing their internship, all of that. As a fully licensed therapist, she says between $125 to $150 an hour is what that is. Any other miscellaneous information that she told me was that there's such a demand for marriage and family therapists, especially working with children. And so she really was excited to actually talk to me, and she was very helpful and was very kind, and even told me that if I needed help or needed contacts, that she would give those to me, and she would even help me even look for an internship. So I felt really grateful. So there you go. There's my profile on a marriage and family therapist. Thank you.